Happy Monday, guys. I hope everyone is doing amazing. Welcome back to my YouTube. Welcome back to the daily market analysis. I'm excited to be back with you guys on the YouTube, giving you guys as much value as possible. Obviously, some of you guys who are tuning into this YouTube will know that I've not posted on here publicly for a while. I've been doing a lot of private daily market analysis with my community. So, I'm back on to doing this publicly so that you guys can obviously get some sort of free membership. But before we get into anything and into the charts, I want you to understand that the content on this channel, inside my Discord, inside my education, is only for educational and informational purposes only. I am not a financial advisor, and nothing shared in my videos or inside my Discord should be considered financial investment or trading advice. Understand that trading and investing involves risk, and you should always conduct your own research before making any financial decisions. Any past performances that I discuss does not guarantee future results, so you are responsible, as always, for your own financial decisions. Okay, let's jump into the charts and see what is going on. Let's see what is going on. I've been in Dubai over the past 2 weeks, so I have obviously not been doing these videos. So I'm excited to get back working alongside you guys and giving you the value that I usually do. But looking at today, as always, we've got red folder news at 4 p.m. For the US dollar. But today and also this week, it looks pretty quiet-ish. Of course, you have FOMC minutes, as you can see, on Wednesday at 8 p.m. And obviously Canadian dollar red folder news on Friday. But again, it looks reasonably pretty quiet in regards to red folder news with the US dollar. So let's see. Make sure if you're trading, make sure if you're obviously placing trades actively every single day, you are checking, some sort of news factory, news calendar. I obviously use Forex Factory, as you can see, just obviously to know what is going on economically inside of the currencies. Okay, let's get into the chart. So as you guys can currently see, I'm currently on the US dollar on the daily time frame. So I've just been looking at this morning, looking at obviously what is going on. Firstly, if I look left, you can see why is market reacted from here? Why we had some sort of market sell-off. First thing I can notice is we have this daily supply area here, which market didn't tap into. So we did have a slight imbalance here. You probably can't see it. I'm also aware that we do have this daily supply area above as well. So if market does carry on going, longer, then it could be a reason to get into here and then potentially short again. So yeah, just looking at these, we do obviously have these two areas at this moment in time. Now, looking at the market structure, you guys can probably already notice that we've been, obviously uptrending. Market has been creating higher lows and higher highs. And obviously looking at the charts right now, you can see that market condition is quite big. Like we have this as our higher high and this our higher low. And we do have this daily demand area below here, which would be my favorable daily demand area. Um, but also understand that we are reacting from this area here because this is a pullback on the 4 hour. This area here is a pullback on the 4 hour. So, if you look at it from a Fibonacci standpoint, and one of the things that is in my criteria is if the market, comes into the low of the below the 50% mark on a Fibonacci, we are in that discounted area, and that can be a reason why market, of course, carries on longing. So we have sort of dipped below that 50%. So yeah, what I'm waiting for at this moment in time is it's gonna be interesting to see if market market obviously does carry on, but also waiting to see if we do carry on, which we are doing from here, what happens from this daily supply area here. Because this daily supply area is valid, and this could be somewhere where we obviously just carry on reacting from either long term or, of course, at least to this daily demand, because this daily demand is my favorable area. And obviously, then we could get this, or like I said, we could just get it carrying on. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens from this daily supply area. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. On this daily market outlook, I am sticking to the daily time frames just for today because there's not much going on realistically for me to look for in the 4 hour time frames, just being honest. Now, we can have us obviously have a look. We do have, this daily demand area, which is what we just talked about. Yes, we do have this 4 hour demand area here as well. You can mark it out as this singular candle or this two candles here. Market hasn't reached into that demand. But of course, we are obviously moving away from this daily demand. Now, for me personally, this price action is not something that I'd look to trade right now. It's going to be interesting, like I said, if market gets into that 4 hour supply area here, which is inside of that daily, are we going to get this? That's one thing I am just, obviously thinking of. Long wise, if we go, long and we start pulling back here now, I would be interested to see what happens on this 4 hour demand area as well, to see if we do get this. If not, of course, then it would be the lower demand areas here. So as of right now, this is a little bit ugly, but if we're going off the daily time frame, as I just said, you can obviously see the clear daily demand areas that we have and also supply area that we have as well. Going into the Euro USD, as you guys can pretty much see, for me personally, this is my daily range. We have from this daily lower high to this daily lower low. This is where our previous daily break of structure was. So we can mark that out, as you can see. Of course, we have some imbalance below this daily supply area as well. So ideally, we would want to see this daily supply area being the main area if we can get the pullback into this to then potentially go and carry on to create that new daily lower low. Now, of course, we're nowhere near that at this moment in time. You can probably notice as well, it's not the nicest, but from the start of this imbalance that we had to this area here, we have a daily supply area. Is this my most A star plus setup? No, it's not, but it is a valid area, and the dollar is reacting out of obviously demand area. So, if we do carry on shorting from a daily perspective, it might most likely be because of this daily supply area. Now, if I'm going into the four, pretty simple. One thing I can notice is we have tapped into this area of supply here. Started at imbalance. That's where market consolidated before market start to move away. So that is a 4 hour supply area, which again aligns with the fact that market is reacting from this daily demand area. So we're inside this 4 hour supply and we are starting to sell off. Now, of course, internal for me. Internal is, of course, bullish. You can see that we have this area here being our higher low and this being our higher high. So if market comes into this demand area, I'm going to be interested to see if market shifts and carries on longing. Of course, what we can potentially do, or what I can potentially do, is before we get into this, if there's an opening for market to potentially short into that demand area, we can obviously look for that as well. And looking at the market condition right now, we do have the start of this imbalance here. So if you look, at this, you can see that we do have this area of supply that we could potentially come back into. So if market does carry on shorting, it could just be a bounce into the supply and then carry on shorting. But like I said, if we do get this scenario, I am just going to keep my eye out, like I said, in this demand area in case we do carry on longing from this demand area. So pretty simple. Hopefully it makes sense to you guys tuning in. Let's have a look at what's going on with the Jupiter USD. So same again, you can see the structure that we're in. We have our daily lower high and our daily lower low. Pretty simple. Of course, we have this daily supply area with a lot of imbalance. Market hasn't reached into that supply area, but we've pretty much filled in majority of that imbalance. Ideally, I do like to see them supply areas, of course, met. Like if you look at this scenario that we had here, market dipped into that daily supply area, as you can see, and it's the same scenario here. Market dipped into it. We didn't just tap into some of the imbalance. We obviously come deep into them supply areas and as well as the imbalance. So, ideally, we could still go bullish into this day's supply because of the imbalance that we have left. Now, going off the dollar, of course, if the dollar carries on bearish, then GU should carry on bearish. Dollar carries on bullish, GU should carry on bearish, sorry. Now, of course, if we get into this daily supply area and carry on shorting, then what can we expect here? Well, what we can expect here is, let's say that market gets into this area of demand, which is our daily demand. Then if that happens, then what could we see is market, if the dollar obviously covers a bearish, we could get market carry on bullish from here. So just be aware of both scenarios. Jumping into the 4 hour, you can pretty much see this area of supply is where markets come into. Ideally, we do have imbalance above here as well, as you can see. So, I would have naturally looked for market to come deeper into that daily supply and probably this 4 hour supply area here. But yeah, obviously we've not had that just right now, but market has come into this supply. So looking at market conditions, 4 hour, I don't like the look of anything here, just being honest. Nothing's clear. So for me, the higher time frame looking at these, I do like obviously the fact that we're pretty much in that supply on the daily and the 4, and obviously the dollar is reacting on out of the demand. But internally, I just don't like any of this at all, if I'm being honest. If I jump down to the 1, can I see anything different? Well, I can obviously see this 1 hour demand area in which market is currently at. So taking out this low here as well. So if market maybe does break above this high and it aligns with the dollar, because as we always talk about, dollars are most important, you could potentially see market carry on from here because of this this 1 hour demand. Um, and obviously that would also align with potentially this area of demand as well on Euro USD, something I missed. But yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see if we get the right confirmations from this 1 hour demand to potentially long. But like I said, it would have to align with the dollar going short from this 1 hour supply area. And as you can see, the internal at this moment in time is bullish. So if we can potentially get a break here and it's nice and clean, then you could obviously potentially look for the shorts on the dollar, longs on the major pairs. So hopefully that makes sense. So looking at NZUSD, NZUSD, of course, it's a little bit different to like EU and GU. You can see the market's a lot different. We have reached this demand area here. You can see we tapped into that, filling the imbalance that we had here as well. So we obviously could go carry on bullish. From this area, do I like the look of it? No, I don't from a daily. So I can't really mark anything out. If I jump down to the 4, you can see market's pretty much corrective on that 4 hour from the bearish side to the bullish side. Now I'm just going to look and see if we can get to see anything down here inside of that daily supply, which I can, which for me would be just this area of 4 hour demand, which is why market's reacted the way it's reacted. I'm just going to be honest, I don't like the look of any of this for dollar to carry, NZUSD to carry on shorting. Just being honest, you can notice we obviously have this last pullback before this movement down. That is valid, but this area did mitigate it. So yeah, look, I'll be honest, I don't like the look of any of this. It's all pretty corrective. Doesn't mean that we can't trade it, no, of course. But as long as you're confirmations your traded plan is met, then obviously take it. And then same for the long scenario from a 4 hour. From a 4 hour, this has been mitigated here. You can see we had bullishness market whipped in to this area of demand, which I'm talking about here, there, and then obviously carrying on bullish, and now market's carrying on shorting. So yeah, it's going to be interesting because if we carry on shorting with the dollar, um, then of course. Then of course NZUSD is going to carry on longing, but I just don't really like the look of much. If we jump down to the one, can we see anything different? Well, we can see that we have this 1 hour demand area here, and that 1 hour demand area aligns with the 1 hour supply area with the US dollar. But the same again, you'd have to have some sort of confirmation. So if that's a break above here, you know, and then catching that market obviously going from short to long, that could be the confirmation you're looking for, but it would have to make sense, like I said. But yeah, definitely keep an eye out on these major pairs at this moment in time. Now going into AUD USD, we're inside of this daily demand area here, as you can see, and we're slowly starting to move away slightly. We do have this daily supply area as well, so it's going to be interesting to see if we carry on bullish from here. How does market react from this supply? Do we carry then on shorting, or is market just going to carry on obviously longing? So if you can get in longs and shorts, you could obviously trap the market for sure. Looking at the 4 hour. What can we see? We can pretty much see that market has gone from, we broke this demand. Do we have anything else below here? Look at that. Look at that. Inside forward demand, we have this 1 hour. Let me just quickly show you guys, which it didn't mitigate. The way that I trade supply and demand is not by accident. Like this stuff is institutional trading. Imbalance above, we have this 1 hour supply area. Inside of that 4 hour, and that's exactly where market has been drawn into right now, as you can see. Beautiful. Um, but yeah, looking at the 4 hour, the one thing I can notice and the one thing I like the look of realistically is the fact that we're reacting from this 4 hour demand area here. This 4 hour demand area is been beautiful. You can see the internal is bullish. Imbalance, 4 hour demand, markets come back into there. So now I would be personally, trying to see if you can participate in any longs in here. Of course, ideally we do break this low on the dollar. It could be beautiful to look for them long ideas if and when we break this high, and then we can obviously target. Let's say we get a candle closure above, pullback, and then obviously carry on long in AUD USD. Pretty simple. Hopefully it makes sense to you guys. Apologies, by the way, I've got a runny nose. USD Canadian dollar, I don't like the look of from a daily time frame. I've probably said this for a couple of weeks now, probably a couple of months to be fair. It's been more 4 hour, 1 hour trending, which has been beautiful for the lower time frame. But of course, from a daily, it's not been the best. But we still have called out so many areas, as you guys can see, over and over and over and over again. But looking at the four, you can see that we're reacting beautifully from this 4 hour demand area here. That's where markets came into and then slowly started to move away. So for me right now, USD Canadian dollar, I'd look for either this area of 4 hour demand or we have this area of 4 hour demand. So depending what the dollar does, so what I mean by that is if you look at the dollar again, if the dollar, carries on, let's say longing from somewhere in here. So let's say this candle here, for instance. Let's say the dollar carries on longer from here. Then of course we can make a decision from where the market is currently at here. For sells, I don't like the look of anything from here from a 4 hour. It's not the same as obviously like a 1 hour supply. Let's have a look on the 1 hour to see if we do have a 1 hour supply. No, not for me. We just took out these highs and then obviously started to sell off. So, but interesting to see what happens with USD CAD from a 4 hour if we carry on getting that bullishness long. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. USD CHF daily time frame is obviously bullish. We have this area here, higher low and higher high. Of course, what we can see right now is markets coming to this trap area here as a oh, as a daily demand area. Ideally, we still have this demand area below with imbalance above this demand area as well. So, we could obviously look for continued shorts from here if the dollar does as well. And then obviously if we do carry on shorting from here, we can make a decision from this daily demand area if we break this low here. And that could obviously again be the same scenario as the US dollar because look, daily demand area here. We have this daily demand area that's been untouched at the extreme level of this daily structure. And you can see it's the same scenario here. So let's see with that, of course, jumping into the four, you can see that we're not reacted, for me anyway, from any valid area of 4 hour demand. We pretty much just come into this imbalance above and obviously starting to move away. So for me, it's not something that I'm looking for. If we do get that market coming to around this 4 hour supply area, inside of that daily supply, that could be where the market does carry on shorting if the dollar does the same. Um, so yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Now, of course, if the dollar's carrying on shorting from the 1 hour, which we just talked about, from this 1 hour, then what we can expect is the reason being, if we do here, will be this 1 hour supply. Now, let me just mark this out. We do have this 1 hour supply. What do we need to wait for? Well, what we need to wait for again is a confirmation that the internal is also bearish because right now, looking at this internal is bullish. So I would not be looking at participating in any shorts until we break at least this low. And if we break this low, then obviously you can look for this. But at this moment in time, from a 1 hour, we're just reacting from the 1 hour demand. And obviously, if we go into the lower time frames, 30 minute, 15 minute, you could probably see a better scenario of where market is reacting from. But pretty simple to obviously understand that bullishness and demand is still in control, as you can see. So as of right now, we need to see some sort of internal change of trend in order to participate. Hopefully that makes sense, guys. USD Japanese yen, let's see what she is doing. Is she being nice? Is she not? Daily time frame, of course, extremely bullish. Where we come back into, well, this daily demand area here. Now, of course, we are extremely bullish, as you can see. And we're just going to go, if the market from the dollar goes bearish, then yes, we have this daily supply area. The only thing is I'm going to try and look left to see if I can see anything to the left or not. No. Okay. I don't think there is. No. Okay. So for me personally, what I would personally be looking for is to seeing obviously how we react from here, but bullishness is in control at this moment in time. If we jump down to the four, we can see I wanted this 4 hour demand area met. We didn't quite get that, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Market's obviously been extremely bullish. We are coming into, these areas of supply here. So for me personally, it would have to align with the dollar. Where obviously if you look at USD Japanese yen, USD Japanese yen is a lot more bullish than the dollar has been. But if the dollar carries on shorting, then of course we would expect USD Japanese yen to carry on shorting as well. So ideally, I will be keeping my eye out for that going into the rest of this week. But yeah, that is your daily market outlook for today, guys. I appreciate it, every single one of you. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the value that I have brought. And as always, I would love if you guys can just like this video, comment this on this video, anything in between. If you got any questions, feel free to add it into the comment section below. And also, if anyone's on here that is interested in learning directly from myself, please feel free to reach out to my Instagram. My Instagram is the same as my name on here, at Coached by Chambers. I have a full educational course that teaches you everything I know in regards to the markets and the way that I trade. So if you enjoy the way that I trade, I'd highly advise you, gaining some more information for myself in regards to that. But other than that, guys, take care and God bless.